In this video, we are going to talk about ICP, some of its recent price action, the important support and resistance areas, and where we can expect the price of ICP to go in the next few days and weeks. So we will be looking at the weekly chart, and what we can see here is that ICP has been in a very clear, devastating downtrend since 2024. We've seen ICP continuously get lower highs as well as lower lows, really with no exceptions, until more recently, since about February, it seems like the dump has been slowing down, and it has actually gotten a bit of a consolidation, with it actually getting a bit of a rally back in May. This is of course in correlation with Bitcoin. Bitcoin went all the way down to about 60k, and back in February it started to get a relief rally and it went all the way up to 82k, and right after that it dumped all the way back down to 60k, where it is at right now more or less. And ICP followed Bitcoin pretty closely, with it getting a relief rally also from about $2 all the way up to nearly $4, and then getting a dump all the way back down to $2, where it is at right now more or less. It is now at $2.2. ICP got support from the exact same level of where it was back in the October liquidation event back in 2025. We've seen a very significant dump by the entire crypto market. We had a very dramatic liquidation event across the entire crypto market, and back then ICP went all the way down to $2. It went back there very briefly and then got support from there and recovered very quickly. It actually led to a very significant rally just a couple of weeks later, all the way up to nearly $10. And now more recently, back in February, it went all the way back down to that same level and it got support from there. And again, as I said before, it moved with a very strong correlation to Bitcoin since then, and it is now all the way back down to $2. So this seems to be a very crucial support area for ICP. This is basically the all-time low, and ICP is currently trying to hold onto it, with it getting a bit of a rally in the last couple of days. It went from about $2 to $2.2, so about a 10% rally. This isn't very significant, of course, with such a small market cap altcoin. 10% is not anything that significant, but still it is showing signs of it getting some support from this area. And in my opinion, ICP is very dependent on what Bitcoin does currently. As I said before, it moved with a very strong correlation to Bitcoin in the last couple of months, and I think that it will most likely continue to do so. If Bitcoin manages to get a bit of a relief rally from here and get support from the area of 60k, then ICP will likely follow it, and at the very least not break down below $2 and continue to consolidate. And maybe the best case scenario would be that it gets another relief rally as well, probably creates another lower high like we've seen it continue to create for a very long time now. The most recent lower high was this in May at around $4. So if Bitcoin does get a relief rally, we could expect ICP to potentially get a relief rally all the way up to this trend line again, which would be a rally to about $3.6 or so, depends on when it happens, as it obviously continues to go down with time, so to about $3.5. But if Bitcoin does break down below 60k, which I think it will eventually do so, regardless of whether it gets a relief rally in the short term or not, if Bitcoin eventually breaks down below 60k, then ICP will likely break down below $2 as well and start to create new all-time lows. Since this area of $2 is the all-time low for ICP and it is such a crucial support area, once ICP breaks down below it, it will likely lead to ICP continuing to dump much further, and it could be very brutal for ICP, honestly, since I do still think that we are most likely in a bear market. Despite the recent relief rally by Bitcoin to over 80k, I still think that this is a counter trend rally. Bitcoin is still very clearly in a downtrend, as well as most of the crypto market, including ICP as well. I think that we will most likely continue to see most of 2026 be a bear market year. And in bear markets historically, most altcoins significantly underperform Bitcoin. And of course, there can be some exceptions, but I don't really see a reason to why ICP would be one of them. ICP is in a very clear downtrend. It has been underperforming Bitcoin for a very long time now, and it is very close to its all-time low. And again, as I said, once it breaks down below $2 and starts to create new all-time lows, it will likely lead to it continuing to dump much further. So I can't say that I'm optimistic about ICP, honestly. Maybe in the short term, it could get a relief rally up to around $3.5, up to this trend line, as I said. But in the long term, I'm very pessimistic about ICP. And also in general, I'm just quite pessimistic about altcoins as a whole. I think that as we continue further into this bear market, as Bitcoin dumps further and goes below 60k, most altcoins will underperform it. That's what historically happens in bear markets. Most altcoins underperform it, as I said before. And for us to get an altcoin season, and for altcoins to sustainably outperform Bitcoin, and for us to see a prolonged period of altcoins doing well, we would first need to see Bitcoin getting into new all-time highs, as well as Ethereum following it. And at the moment, this is very, very far away from being the reality in the market. Bitcoin is more than 50% down from its all-time high, Ethereum even more than that. So this seems very far away at the moment, and I would expect this to not happen for many more months until the end of 2026 at the very least, and it could potentially even take much more than that. Also guys, if you are enjoying these videos and you want more updates about ICP as well as other altcoins and the crypto market in general, make sure to subscribe. It helps the channel a lot and it allows me to continue making these updates, and it helps me way more than you know. So make sure to hit that subscribe button, and now let's continue with the analysis for ICP. So again guys, as I said, I'm quite pessimistic about altcoins as a whole, and also within the altcoin market, ICP honestly doesn't seem that good in my opinion. I've seen many other altcoins with a better structure. My general outlook for the altcoin market at the moment is that I would not hold any altcoins in the long term. It's not just now, it's really what I think about altcoins as a whole. Altcoins are not really a long-term hold, and especially not in a bear market. I would only maybe consider being into some altcoins very carefully. I would be very cautious with them and have some small positions into altcoins that have a good structure and only in the short term, and I will have very clear exit signals, whether it is taking at a profit or exiting at a loss. I think that really the only long-term hold in the market is Bitcoin, especially in a bear market, maybe a bit of Ethereum at most, but that's really it. And I would mostly avoid being into altcoins. Of course, this isn't financial advice whatsoever, but that's what I personally think. So honestly guys, I don't have much more to say. ICP is still very clearly in a downtrend. In the long term, again, it can get a bit of a relief rally. If Bitcoin manages to get a relief rally to about 70k, I would expect ICP to follow it and get a relief rally to about $3.50. This would mean that ICP would actually outperform Bitcoin in the short term at least. But again, in the long term, I'm very pessimistic about ICP as well as really the entire crypto market in general. And I will not expect us to see any significant rallies until late 2026 at the earliest. So guys, that's going to be it for this video. If you enjoyed it and you want more updates about ICP as well as other altcoins and the entire crypto market in general, make sure to subscribe. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one.